free, y'all.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. What's up there, chat? Let's get to the bar, shall we? Welcome, chat. How y'all doing? I'm hauling aft today. My name is Ball, Berserker01, Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the AstroPub, your space bar at the end of the universe. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. How y'all doing? Hey, Red, how are you doing? Thanks for coming on. Oh, and thank you for suggesting the topic. Greetings from peaceful, sunny Florida. It's not that bad, right? Or is it a hurricane party, or is it get the fuck out of town hurricane? Simon. 2 a.m. here, no sun. Well, with your name, it could easily be, there could be sun, it's just not spring or summer. Not bad. It's bad. Category 4. Ooh, okay, yeah. I'm hauling missions, not doing blockade running. Apparently they still haven't fixed the problems, so.
Welcome to the ASOC vehicle retrieval system. Your insurance claim has been sent. Thank you.
There we go. But you'll deal, as always. Northern Europe. Well, yeah, I'm saying, Torbjorn, that if you lived way north, you could be in the land of the midnight sun. So it could be 2 a.m. and sunny. Just saying. Not that far. Hey, Thea, how you doing? Half the van moved to Florida, so it's like a phone tree to check on folks anymore. Ah, that sucks. Hey, Renneman. Boop, 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 boop.
Welcome to the ASOS vehicle retrieval system.
All right, we still got about 4 minutes left. I will say the latest Astro Historian video is doing pretty good. It's not amazing in terms of performance, but is doing all right. Only about 60 degrees north. It's doing as good as it should be. It's number 7 out of 10. And it's only about 200 views below pace for the complete history of the human Navy. So, which did pretty well overall. I was waiting for it. Hold on. Always. Always. I just checked, and it's weird. Someone commented 20 minutes ago, when the UEE introduced master modes, it reduced the king of light fighters to a fragile wine glass. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Every single fucking video, right? Every single fucking video, someone's gonna complain about fucking master modes. Swear to God. It has nothing to do with master modes, but someone's gonna make that comment. I'm gonna like get on a soapbox here for a couple moments, just because this pisses me off. There is no community in gaming that is as weirdly fixated on dumb shit as Star Citizen community. No matter what the video is, someone's going to bring up their pet peeve about the game somewhere in the video. If it even has absolutely nothing to do with the video topic, they're going to bring it up. And it's like, I guess thank you for the comment, but I don't know, maybe participate in the authentically. Don't just be a dick. Is Master Modes in the room with us right now? Yeah. I agree, Del. Like, there's ways you can make your case, but the more that you just constantly talk about it over everyone else, you look like a dick. SE fanboy, if they say that if they're saying that the feedback is mostly positive, they mean that they get all right. I don't know how to say this in a way that isn't going to sound a little offensive, but I think people value their opinions on Star Citizen way too high, including myself. People's opinions on the game, they're like, well, this has got to happen because CIG doesn't give a shit. If they cared, they would have immediately double backed, but they didn't.
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Is Aimless here? No. That's not a call out of anybody. It's just like. That's the reality. People think their opinions are much higher than they actually are. I guess it's a nicer way of saying it. The other way is everyone thinks their shit don't smell. For the record, my opinions of Star Citizen are worthless. So are mine, to be honest. It's the reason why everyone says, Paul, what do you think about master modes? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I guess it's okay. My issue with Star Citizen comes to stuff that CIG obviously doesn't give a shit about right now, which is I'm a big fan of Sandbox stuff and giving us Sandbox tools to make Sandbox gameplay, and CIG just doesn't want to do that. Genie, okay. Them biddies.
But Paul, I'm the main character. I'm the only one who matters in this universe. Did you not realize that you all are simply NPC peasants?
I did. But I'm going to blow all your minds. We're all NPC peasants. The only real person is Jim. And Jim's not watching right now, so we can drop the act. Jim is the only real person in the universe. And if he ever figured that out, we'd all be dead. Just keep Jim asleep. Okay? And Jim is played by Gary Oldman anyways. I'm with you, Simon. I'm with you on that one. Thank God, I've been on gym duty for ages. Be right back on the compete. Thought for the day. Can we have a mistress Mo's options? Ooh. Simon Wolf wants a Dami Mommy mode.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
I'm with Simon.
Your vehicle has been to place visitors again.
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers. But you can never, ever take away my space game.
Dragon Diabolus just resubscribed for 93 months. I was hoping you were using the raft, so you were filling the raft's aft.
No, I want to use my my stompy mech. But thank you for that 93 months there, Diabolus. You're very important, but very impressive. Mr. Any pedestrian. This is for all the reason I'm drinking night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Love you, Trucker Muzak. It's all Star Trucker. What I need to do is make a playlist of Star Trucker and Rebel Galaxy and because I think those are all copywritten, so probably not Rebel Galaxy, but what's it called? Harshman Shipbreaker. Thank you. Yes, that one. Yeah, they're doing pretty good here. I think they're doing pretty good with the FPS AI. I don't know what I'm doing. There's an extra over here. Hey, Mr. Hamshank. By the way, Death Stranding 2 is already has merch. $1,000 watch and an optional $700 winder. Are you kidding me? I'm fairly new. I was wondering with the Pisces, what is my best route for money early? Said boxes. Pisces. Oh, that's the anvil ship. Box missions are usually pretty good. Yeah. You're not gonna do a lot of combat in Pisces. You could also do mercenary missions on the ground, but you'd have to get like if you like FPS stuff. Yeah, if you do small for SCU cargo hauling. Does it actually fit for SCU, or is it fit like for SCU in theory? They're testing 2.4.2 in Evo. Yes, they are. But Evo means you can't stream it, so I'm not going to be playing it. And I literally got home and had food and came to stream, so. This was the Freelancer Max, right, Paul? Yeah, this is the Freelancer Max, the one I won from that one contest that I did, that you and I did together. Let Mr. Ham Shank know. I'll respond to him in a moment. It's probably a 3-hour playtest because they want to test some specific configurations. If you're wondering why I'm not using the Atlas for loading, it's because the Atlas is fucking awful for this. It's good for unloading, not really good for loading. And even then, it really has its limited usage. Oh, Connie's docking works now. That's good. All right, so sorry about that, Mr. Ham. The basic gist is box missions are good, but also mercenary missions if you're okay with doing ground type missions. So if you're doing ground, like if you want to do FPS missions, you can make some decent money because you can also bring a box and take a bunch of their gear and sell it. The last I checked, the jackets, some of the jackets of the Ninetales are incredibly valuable. Like you make an absolute killing off of some of those. Yeah, that's good enough. Fuck you, Sposha. But yeah, box missions are pretty good. That's fine. I'm trying to figure out how to get the game to work getting a 509 error. Yeah, listen to Diablos. Diablos can help you out. An external SSD? That might be the issue. All right, going to Arc L2. That might be the issue, yeah.
You can take away my spaceship.
Spaceship.
You can take away my space suit.
Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No PPUs.
But you can never,
Never.
ever take away my space game.
Jenantanak just resubscribed for 59 months.
Thank you.
Space truckin' for the win.
Thank you for that 59 months of support there, Jen. You're a very important pub, a very impressive of any pedestrian. This is your father who's guy. Shots and cheers and chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Loading in boxes and ships shows how game hasn't aged well, specifically legacy ships. Yep. There's not a ton of those ships, to be fair. It's mostly the Connie and the Freelancer. Everything else is pretty good. Like the Cutlass is pretty good. All right, yeah, I already did that. Yeah, you may have to make some space on internal SSD if you want to get that. You want to install Star Citizen. Ow.
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers. But you can never, ever take away my space game.
JoyPop_ just resubscribed for 27 months.
Thank you so much, Joy Pop, for that 27 months of support. You're a very important pumper, very impressive, Mr. Very pedestrian. This is your father who's drinking. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. I don't know if you'll be able to get it to work on the external SSD, because honestly, I don't even know many. The heck? So is 3.24.2 the CitizenCon patch? Probably. The CitizenCon patch doesn't mean that it's the that 4.0 isn't coming out this year, though. One of the things that it seems like CIG is trying to do is offload absolutely everything they can that's in 4.0 that's ready to go into 3.24.2. Oh, sure. Looking forward to 4.0 as the end of the year PTU hell. We'll see. We could definitely see. I could see 4.0 coming out in PTU by CitizenCon, but I think I wouldn't. I don't want to be CIG if they can't get 4.0 in some sort of in players' hands in some way, shape, or form before CitizenCon, because CitizenCon is basically just going to be cool. You lied to us last year. That's all it's going to be. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's just the narrative that's going to happen, which is an awful thing to do, to walk into with your if you're trying to advertise the game. They are iterating pretty quickly. See how bad this is. Yeah, I don't think this year is going to be that good. They probably don't care. They care. CIG cares, for sure. I just think they're not really tone deaf. Because as I constantly say, everyone gets mad at the Atlas, but they sold an absolute shit ton of the Atlases. And yeah, I know. Oh, well, they only sold so many Atlases at this price. Cool. They made about as much money as they typically do with, like, new ships do. They made, like, almost $2 million in the first couple of days. That's pretty typical for what they do, with a ship that's, like, half the price of most ships. And you can get mad all you want. It's clear that, like, players want the freaking Atlas. Yeah, whatever. New players? Maybe. It's a vehicle. It's a ground vehicle. I don't know why people say it's a tool. It's a ground vehicle. It's as much of a tool as the Argo MPUV is. Hey, how you doing, Mason? Hopefully you're okay. It's a messy unloading, but I'm getting it done. Hey, Minstrel. Yeah, I'm doing good. The heck? What? Game, what are you doing? I just teleported. There we go. Hey, Major Star stuff. Yeah, it should be able to be melted in your buyback. I don't know if you'll be able to purchase it again, though. There we go. Nostradamus, sir, as an annual tradition, what are your predictions for CitizenCon this year? All right, I'm going to look into my crystal ball. I see Squadron 42. We already know what they're talking about. They're talking about Squadron 42, and they're going to be talking about homesteads. Everything else is a guess, but the guess would probably be salts are always going to happen. There we go. It'll be homesteads, scanning, and probably some more updates on like resource stuff and that kind of stuff. It's not going to be about 4.0. Anybody who thinks it's going to be more 4.0 stuff is high. It might be like 4.1, 4.2 stuff, but yeah. Will there be sandworms? Probably not. When do you think we'll get access to homesteads and PU? Ass crack of next year, if 4.0 is any indication. Or it'll be announced for release in June and not come out until September. What happened to 1.0? What do you mean? We're still going to see 1.0, or you hear 1.0 stuff. They're going to give us the 1.0 roadmap or whatever that is, but... Bengals carrier sold for 10K. They'll probably do some marketing event around it, but probably not yet. And a public denial that Chris Roberts ever attended a Diddy party. Did he attend a Diddy party? That'd be surprising to me. I know I gather that it's probably a joke, but just like, I wouldn't be surprised. Chris Roberts did run in a lot of celebrity circles. No, I don't think he ran in that kind of celebrity circle. So will Star Citizen noticeably speed up in 2025 with Squadron Ready to Merge done? Define noticeably speed up, Simon. Come on. I can see Idris and Polaris being announced with the release of 4.0. I can see that too. I moved to Squad 43. What, I have to give 7 nations this stage today? Well, because like, I can tell you the answer is generally probably. If the answer, but if you're asking, will you get to the point where CIG is doing consistent large updates in 2025? No. Nothing is going to have CIG do consistent large updates until they're completely finished with the game, which is at that point, it's not really a large update now, is it? I can't tell you vibes, man. Maybe. I don't do vibes. It's so hard to tell the vibes because CIG could be doing a patch every quarter and hit every quarter and still feel like they're not doing anything. I've been of the opinion that CIG, you will not see the dam break and suddenly everything's speeding up, despite what anyone tells you. I think what you'll see is a slow uptick of content release. Like, I could see the June update of next year being pretty big if 4.0 comes out, in terms of like, I feel like a lot of stuff, but I don't think the summer update will be very big. And I think maybe the end of the year will probably be the biggest. It's pretty much what we got already this year. It's just scale of the game, making it takes a lot of work. It's more than just a scale. It's a matter of like, you can't predict what's going to break. You can't really predict what's going to be made. CIG's doing a lot of R&D still, and there's a lot of stuff that just hasn't been finished yet. They were targeting 4.0 for the summer, which I don't think a single person actually believed they were going to hit it for the summer. I don't agree with the take that oh, of course they didn't. They just said it and then they of course changed it. I don't think that either. I think they honestly thought they were going to do it and then they didn't do it.
I'm just an old-fashioned cowboy.
Yeah, summer did just end. But it's clear they're not going to make it this summer, and they knew that themselves. But, like, Again, if y'all remember, I know some of you have been here for a while. Remember when Jared made that comment, I fucking said, "God damn it, Jared, stop making that comment. You're not going to do it." And then it's going to come back and bite you in the ass because everyone said you promised. Even though Jared did add a bunch of caveats after the comment, because it's just like he got his own hype built up, and he built because he was like excited about what was going on. And it's clear that whatever they were planning on doing didn't pan out. For whatever reason. Processed food. How much do I have to go to Arcal 2 for? Oh, we're gonna... This is a weird one. Pressurized ice to L5. And processed food to L5. 7. Okay. No, I agree. He should have said nothing. He did. If he doesn't know 100% know what is happening, then he shouldn't be talking about it. He can say, "We're having some exciting things. We're planning on getting all of this stuff done," and then leave it at that. Because it sets expectations, and then those expectations get blown up. And I know Jared and a lot of other people will be like, "Well, we're great for talking to you." It's like, you can talk to us without giving us dates. And I know it's hard because at the end of the day, people are asking for dates, but they don't actually want dates. They just want progress monitoring. They want to make sure that the things are happening. And generally speaking, CIG does a good job at that. I just wish they were a little bit more honest about what was going on. Like, if something's fucking is broken, say, "Hey, this is broken. We're working on some solutions, but this is throwing a wrench in our plans." I think most people will be okay with that. Like, to give you the okay, this is good. To give you an idea of why that's the case. Okay, 7 of this. Like, they currently said, "Hey, these are things that are happening. These are things that are broken. These are things they fixed." And on Spectrum, and it's like, hey, people are happy with that. It's not that they're not saying 4.0 is coming out tomorrow, and they're not saying it's all doom and gloom. They just said, "Hey, this is what happened. This is what we fixed. This is how we're working on it." That's good. That's all people want. I don't know. It was stated. Do you think there'll be upgrades to the social elements in the game when 4.0 comes out and player counts being raised? Maybe. I hope. Right now, I'd expect 100% what CIG is going to do is what they've always do, which is they were going to get it to parity of whatever it currently is in game. So whatever we have in game is what they're going to have with 4.0, like right now. So, like, just like they've done in the past, and they've actually stated this, which is their goal is to get it to what we have in 3.24, but on server meshing with Pyro. Does it feel like they've been better about transparency over the last month or so? I'm pretty new to the game, so not really sure in the baseline, but it felt better than the last 6 months or so. Yes. So CIG has this policy that's important to understand, especially for newcomers. If CIG doesn't have a solution, if they have a problem and they don't have a solution, they shut up. They will never tell us anything has gone wrong unless they already have a solution and it's already being worked on. So that way they don't cause a panic. So when you see stuff, when CIG shuts up about a lot of stuff very quickly, it typically means that CIG fucked up somewhere. I know it's not unique to CIG, but for a company that started this whole journey by saying we want to be super transparent and we want to be the most transparent company in gaming as we can be, it's not transparent. But gaming company is more transparent. There's lots of gaming companies that are smaller than CIG for it, that do it. I'd have to look up the specific names, but there's a lot of indies that that even show their financials in terms of like monthly reports on their financials. CIG is just giving us more stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean they're more transparent. A fire hose of information isn't information all the time. I'm not saying CIG is not transparent. I'm just saying that CIG doesn't act as transparent as they could be. That's my critique of them. I just wish CIG would rather say, "Hey, we've encountered an issue. We're workshopping it. We're fixing it. We're pretty confident we're going to be able to have it fixed. We're giving you an update that this is currently how it's not working, but we'll get back to you." Will it cause panic? Anything to CIG does causes panic. But I feel like that would go a long ways of people going, hey, they're talking to us. They're communicating that, you know, with us as if we were investors, which was the whole like pitch that Chris said at the very beginning. They usually say exactly that in the message of the day. They do, which is why the message of the day should be posted on the front page. But it's typically also Wacka and their team do not have access to all that information. They're just told it last minute. Good news from CIG causes a community panic. Yeah. They don't necessarily even need to explain what happened. As long as they understand what happened and they say like just a general gist of like the direction they're looking at, or just update over time, I think it's fine. I think the new website's hard to navigate because we're so used to the old website. But I'm gonna take the take the unpopular opinion, I think, a little bit of this, which is I think the new website is better designed to not scare away normal people. Because to buy a ship, you have to click like 7 times. To upgrade a ship, you need to click like 10. So it's like CIG is funneling you towards buying a new game package, and that's it, which is what they should be doing in the first place. It's better for new players, worse for experienced players. Zane, I'm going to say another thing that's going to piss people off. This is the same problem with master modes. The reason why people don't like master modes is because it's new. Maybe this is just me and my experience, but I've heard the same thing about when the new flight model came out in like 3.1, 3.2, and everyone was like, I wish it was 3.6.2 again, or 2.6.2 again. That's people never shut the fuck up about it. About how 2.6.2 is the best flight model. And then when 2.6.2 is out, people were complaining about how 1.2 was the best flight model. And then when 1.2 came out, it was how 0.8 was the best flight model. When you get used to a flight model, you get used to a mechanic, you get used to it, and when it changes, you don't like it. The reason why people didn't like the new inventory model is because it was is new. Probably, in my opinion, I think that was part of the case. Also, because I think a lot of people's like critiques of it were correct. Was that it was too many clicks. I got it pretty quickly, but I know that like the idea that you had like 7 clicks to get through seemed like an overuse of clicks. Also playing it on new and try to invalidate every criticism people have. What? liked it. I think if people were able to like get used to it, they would have gotten used to it. What is it? Hey, like I said, it was going to be a hot take. I knew some people were going to get mad about it. They do have a concrete flight model. It's just master modes. I'm not trying to be CIG's translator. I'm just trying to explain what I understand about how CIG talks, because CIG is bad at talking to its community. And that's not a critique of even the community team, because they do their best. But I'm not getting paid by them. So I can say things like, CIG has problems internally communicating, because it's clear they have problems internally communicating. But if they said that out loud, people would say, it's over, it's so over, because people exaggerate about everything. My issue with master modes comes with the idea that whenever CIG says, hey, we want feedback on this, because my response is, on what? On part 1 of 6? Listen, I understand why people don't like master modes. I just don't like the fact that every time I say anything, people bring up fucking master modes. Like, I am not Avenger 1. I am not, you know, Cutlet. I'm not Dark Law. I enjoy combat, but it's not my main kind of thing. And after all, nobody watches me. No one buys Star Citizen because of my opinions, after all, according to the PvP community. Specifically calling me out. Thank you. How am I liking the ATLS so far? It's okay. I'm a sucker for anything that's power armor mechs, and it's really good for unloading. It's not very good for loading. Where are we? Did I go in the wrong place? Oh, they also have yellow. Okay. Processed food is... I'm an Arc L5, yeah. Oh, wait. I loaded the wrong thing. That's all of this. I went backwards. The ATLS is not the, like, I win button that a lot of people make it out to be. You just don't have the kind of control you need. Okay, so that's 1 ice and 1 processed food. 5, 7. I like the song, but this is not what I need. Should be good. 4. There you go. Thank you so much for that raid. Welcome, everyone, from Logan Stream. My name is Paul Berserker01, Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the AstroPub. Your space bar at the end of the universe. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. How y'all doing? I assume the Atlas can move around components as well. I don't know. I think it can. Welcome to the truck stream. L2 next. Would you allow me to silently join you? It's okay. I like to do these solo. Thank you for offering, though. I tend to prefer doing like at least a couple of them solo because I'm more engaging when I'm solo. I like playing with other people too, but I know that a lot of people get mad that I'm not like paying attention to chat as much. With the only real truck in the verse. Oh, easy there, inner hype. The Toyota Helix of Star Citizen. How dare you not pay attention to me? Hey, Merlin. If I'd like to request an occasion lore stream on Wednesdays, as work prevents me from joining on Sundays, we could try something like that. I'll have to talk with Tree and those folks, but possibly in the future. L2 time. Yeah. We tried Fridays in the past, but it didn't get much turnout, if I recall correctly. We're not against trying more days; just depends on demand. Yeah, it's good. I wonder how the max stacks up to the Zeus CL when the Zeus comes out. The Zeus CL will probably do better in terms of just pure cargo, and it's more designed for loading and unloading than the Max is. But it's going to be, the Zeus is much bigger than the Max, like much. It's got a huge footprint, what makes it a lot more difficult to maneuver. How you doing, Logan? Yeah, I just found out today that they delayed the release of MechWarrior 5 Clans until the 17th. And it's like fucking PGI, or is it Piranha? Who's in charge now? Fucking devs, you're breaking my balls. CitizenCon is that weekend. Yeah, and it's got a smaller sprint than Spirit. Max does. PGI is Piranha. I didn't know if they were different or not. Why was Piranha blocked by Automod? I don't know. If I recall, the Zeus has a smaller footprint than the Spirit too. It does. It probably does. But like the Freelancer's got a smaller footprint than both of them. So. What are you up to there, Logan? What you got? What y'all pursuing? My tail again. I want a couple Valium in a 6-pack. Okay. Please read my comments above with no small amount of salt. The fact that it's got a smaller footprint than the Spirit. What's my boldest, most out there prediction for CitizenCon? So my boldest out there prediction is that CIG will announce Squadron 42's release date with a specific time. And they, on the floor of CitizenCon, they will show off, let players play the first level of Squadron 42 at CitizenCon on the floor. So first mission, everyone will get a chance to play it for like 20 minutes. Have I gotten mad? I have. Spoilers, no. It's not a spoiler. CIG's already spoiled all of that information. I could see that. I could see them doing the Morrow tour. I just think that the first mission is a nice encapsulation because, as you all know, your boy, Paul Shelley, is an idiot and spoiled himself on the entire plot of Squadron 42. So, yeah. I know the whole story. He's gotten mad. He's a teacher, of course. Of course I'm mad. I'm a public servant. For like almost a decade. Well, over a decade, but almost a decade in Austin alone. More Tour is the beginning of Act 2. It's sort of like, it's not the beginning, but closer to the beginning. The first mission is, it's not really a story mission as much as it is an encapsulation of the universe. It's a world building mission, but it's also it is a very classic inciting incident for the player. exposition mission. Yeah, a lot of it is going to teaching you how to play the game in a basic way. I've heard you say that for years, but don't you think some of the story will have been altered all these years? For sure. 100% it's been altered. But I don't think the broad strokes of the game have changed. When you're making a like a story, generally speaking, you generally have an idea, especially with a game like Star Citizen, you have a general idea of the plot and flow. Just because a game like this, if you changed the ending too much, requires a lot of expensive motion capture, rewrites, and audio stuff, which was not really in the cards, especially since this isn't the actual end of the story. It's the end of the first act of the overarching story. Squadron 42 is part 1 of 3 games. They have written more than that. So they can't change too much in the story. What's all ice? Okay. I'm not going to spoil too much because some people haven't gone looking for stuff, Mason. But yeah, there's enough information out there to know exactly what happens in the first mission. Yeah, I went for looking for one thing and ended up eating a whole box of cereal. Yeah. I went down at midnight to get some water and ended up eating a full course meal. Don't spoil nothing, little boy. I don't plan to. I do think there's going to be some changes, but I think those are going to be mostly the details, not the broad strokes. Honestly, I think the biggest change that's probably happened because of the over the years is just they've added more missions. So I think really what we're getting is they're getting the same story, but with more side content. Like we know that Trejo, her whole story is a side mission. It's the golden rule of the wasteland. Thou shalt get sidetracked by any random shit. But yeah, thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time. Yeah. Fine, I'll go find your damn dog. Here's the first mission. You write a VM home and you talk to the captain who thinks you wrote the love letter, but turns out that the letter was meant for someone else. Think of Three's Company type of episode, but with no Larry. I like to laugh at Larry. See, I'd make a good writer. Hire BCIG. Yes, hire Vaston. No, I'm still pretty optimistic about the rest of this year, though. I think the fact that CIG is iterating heavily on their server meshing stuff and the fact that they said they're going to be iterating beyond the initial setup means that they're almost certainly just looking for a good starting point, and then they're going to continue to go from beyond that, which is always a good sign because it means that CIG is shooting for a specific goal. And based off of their own discussions, they've mentioned multiple times that their goal is to try to get 4.0 out as a stable launch. They want to break the voodoo. They want to break the curse. And I don't know if they can break the curse, but they're going to try. But yeah, I think when they added landable zones, like procedural landing to the game, they were just like, we can just do more shit now. And so they just added more shit. Now, I don't think they'll just randomly change 3.24 to 4.0. I also think it's important to remember that 4.0 isn't the end of the game. They've got a lot more to go beyond 4.0. It's just like the stepping stone they need to get to. But I think if they get to it at the end of the year, they'll do fairly good. I think my hope is that CIG gets 4.0 out before IAE at this point. Just because I'd rather them release it before IAE, have it be broken, figure out the hot fixes they need to do to fix it, and then from there, just kind of roll on to fix it for IAE, get more testing for like volume testing with IAE, and then have some fixes and, you know, other patches like 4.0.1 by the end of the year, and then go on break with doing some other hot fixes in the future. Yeah, it's just a milestone. Before IAE next year? No, before this year. Because CIG already seems to be doing everything they can to move anything that is already ready to go into 3.24.2 rather than being dropping stuff in for 4.0. So they're basically just taking all the extraneous things that they have that don't require server meshing to drop in 3.24.2. That should lessen the stress and the load on 4.0's testing. They run out of excuses out of for 4.0? Yeah. Knowing the Squadron 2 story, do you think it'll work at relevant today's age, or it'll be a bit cheesy? It's an action story. Yeah, wrong thing. The issue with the leaks Discord has nothing to do with them data mining stuff. I've always said if it's in the files, it's relevant. The problem I always have is they try to read the tea leaves of the files, and leaks has a history of being filled with folks who want to see the project burn. So when you have that mentality, even if you are 100% or you think yourself being 100% like unbiased in your opinions, you're always going to bring that coloration there. And often they get insider information from Trust Me Bro sources, which everyone forgets they do, and then they make those predictions. They're entirely wrong. And people go, oh, what? No, they didn't say that. And it's like, yeah, they did say that. It's all about sources. If you can find a good source for it that's reliable and reasonable, then yeah, I'll listen to it. Yeah, CIG has fucked with leaks multiple times, intentionally. They've poisoned the well multiple times just so they can discredit them. So, should we expect an epic, thought-provoking story with incredible twists and amazing commentary on the human conditions? This is a Chris Roberts game, ma'am. Ma'am, this is a Whammers. Don't come in expecting Last of Us or God of War. Expect an iteration on Wing Commander. They've already showed off some stuff that I'm like, are they going to deal with PTSD? Are they going to have a plot line of PTSD? Are they going to start killing off characters? Is Chris Roberts going Game of Thrones? Because some of the previews they've showed. Specifically with Webb being like, I can't handle it. How do you deal with this? How do you deal with it after Vega? It's like, if you know lore, you know Vega was a shit show. Yeah, they won, but New Corvo got bombed into oblivion. The Evandel actually touched ground on New Corvo and were fucking stabbing people to death. Lots of people win Commander games. That's true. How can you add color from people that want it to burn to make it look bad? Nobody puts a gun to employees' heads. It's CIG told them to put the files in it. No. It's so, for instance, a good example would be the last release when they did with the ATLS. They had some comments made by CIG employees that they intentionally cut off segments of, which made it frame the context as in more of a negative light than it actually should have been. When you selectively cite sources to prove a point rather than cite the whole source, it becomes biased. And I don't think it was done so to be like, I don't think the people in leaks were like, yes, we're going to make CIG look awful. I think they saw that, said this makes CIG look awful, and only cropped that part because that's what they were thinking about, rather than thinking about it in terms of like, let's get the full context. When the full context came out later, it was already too late because the leaks had spreading the idea that like CIG was doing X, Y, or Z. In this case, it was like that CIG was trying to cover up their own changing the mechanics because they're trying to sell the ATLS, which is disingenuous considering all of the CIG's statements about tractor beams and stuff like that and how they're going to work. The cash grab thing, yes. Oh, is it a cash grab? No. The ATLS is not a cash grab. They made a lot of cash. They did. But I don't think it was a cash grab. It's a vehicle. Yeah, they made a lot of money off the Pulse, and the Pulse is only $10 cheaper. No one claimed the CIG was doing a cash grab with a Pulse, which has little to no use in the game, period. The whole game is a cash grab. It's okay to say so. That's assuming to say that like CIG is making the game explicitly to make money. In the sense that like CIG's only doing Star Citizen to make a fuck ton of money. Yeah, that's when you say it's a cash grab, that's what you're implying. Yeah. Leave my pulse alone. Just as the saying. Saying that CIG has to make money to stay alive is a completely different thing. See, that's the other problem, is that you're coloring in a different way. If that's not a cash grab, then but what is? Most of the stuff that Games Workshop releases, they put the Titus model, the model for the main character for Space Marine 2, in a separate game that you have to pay like $60 for. Now, if you are a Tyranids player and a Space Marine player, it's a good deal because you get a fuck ton of Tyranids for that price too. But if you're not, it's a cash grab. Gachapon, that's another cash grab. They change game mechanics at a time specifically to maximize profit. I don't see that. They changed the mechanics before the ATLS released. Because that's implying that the only reason why they changed it was so they could sell the ATLS. But the changes were always planned on being made. So yeah, she's talked about that many times in the past. Plus, it's also kind of clear based off of how the game is that they were going to have more changes to how the tractor beams work. Like the hand tractor beam, they've made statements like, yeah, this is going to be a mobility tool rather than being a movement device. Yeah, the ATLS is not a very good, efficient ship or vehicle for stacking. It's pretty fast for unloading, but not really good for precise loading. I think the reason why the reason why it was sold is because it was done. It's clear like they made this for Squadron and it was sitting around and they're like, let's just fucking put it out with the cargo patch. It's called Cargo Empires for a reason. Where the fuck is this station? Ivan, stop just saying shit. We're not going to agree on this. I disagree. I think you're wrong, but that's fine. If you want to keep pushing it, then you can push it for another with a 24-hour break, my man. Can I get one of those 24-hour timeouts? Sure. I'll see you in 24 hours online. Shit. I'm accusing others of being disingenuous. I'm not accusing them of being intentionally disingenuous. I'm accusing them of having bias. I have a bias. Everyone has a bias. It takes a lot to try to say, hey, I have a bias. This is my bias. I'm going to do my best to work around it. Hey, you don't have to be here on knowledge. If that's not, if you don't like this sort of thing, you can leave. As always, my dude. We tried to make the Avis EVA. That's not going to happen. And that's another example of that bias. I've seen it more than once. People say, when I say something positive about CIG, people go, Paul's a shill. It's like, cool. You're going to ignore every time I've criticized CIG. Because, for instance, I don't like the fact that CIG doesn't let you rent vehicles after they sell them in game. Or sell them out of line. I think they would make more money, and I think it would make people feel a lot better if you could try out the vehicle and not have to spend money on it. But that's not me saying CIG is flawless and never can do no wrong. It's just, I think they made a mistake, but I think we make a mistake of applying malice to what can otherwise be applied for as incompetence. And I think it's just CIG being incompetent. Thank you, online. I can bring you back, buddy. I'm not saying it's a coincidence. CIG definitely released the ATLS because to correspond with their cargo patch. Yeah, I don't like a long Evo. I think a long Evo is a mistake if CIG tries to do it, because the one thing we've learned about Evos is that people get tired of Evos. And if they get tired of Evos, then they don't get the concurrency, and then they don't get the concurrency load that they need to actually test the game to see if there's problems. Have you ever tried to tractor an ATLS outside a ship while it was being tractored? You can't get into the ship while it's being tractored. No, I just hope they go into Evo and then go through wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 really quickly, just to find some of the problems and drop it for concurrency testing. L3, L5, and L1. Okay, so... let's get out of this. Oh, wait. Bottom line, in my opinion, none of this had to pay for the ATLS, but many of us did, and that's a good thing for CIG to make money, to make our game. Hey, Mountstoner. It's a massive patch there for a lot of bugs to be expected, for sure, but I think most of those bugs aren't going to be just found in Evo. Just because Evo in general, like, there's only so many people who play Evo. Like, here's a good example. The last really highly publicized, like, what is it called? Test that they did. Server meshing test. There was like at a peak concurrency of like 1,700 people. So there wasn't even enough people to fill 2 servers at 1,000 people. That's with an open PTU with a lot of hype and anticipation. They didn't even fill up 2 servers. There's no way they would be able to find all of the bugs with the PTU testers as they is. They're doing Evo now for 3.2, 4.2, not for 4.0. Okay. So L1, which will be my last stop. So L3 L5 first. So pressurized ice. That's this one. That'll be first. And then L3 is 6 of processed. Hey, Don. How you doing? All I can tell you, Aimless, is that we've had this conversation pretty much every year since I've been a member of the community, and it's never changed. Every year, someone says CIG's got to change their price model, their ship model, because it's people will stop buying ships or people are mad, and it's like every year people buy more stuff. In fact, CIG makes more money every year. And every time CIG releases a new patch, they get a massive number of concurrencies. That one is 4 ice, so that's this one is. So I'm not saying it's never gonna happen, but it's been 12 years and it still hasn't happened. So L5 is the first one. So that's gonna be the first one. I'm a sucker for anything like power armor mech related, so. You need a Star Citizen Drake keyboard to write you out your manifest. You know, be a real teamster. Yeah. That's true. There was one year they didn't make as much. Hey, Valkyrie. I don't think it's an issue of like, it's not an issue of like having more people in PTU. They've got a lot of people in PTU. They just don't have a lot of people playing. And I think the reason why is because CIG, I'm going to say that PTU feels like a failed experiment. It worked for the early models of what CIG was doing with Star Citizen, but I think we're at the point where the PTU model needs to change to being something more like an experimental mode. So like when you would typically have something go out in Evo, you throw it into an experimental and then you run it longer. So then instead of like 3 months, 6 months testing, we're having just a experimental branch that's constantly updated where players can play it, because you'll get a spike of people playing it for when you add the new content in there. But I think that's also requires the fundamental technology of like server meshing to be in before they could do that. Stable, unstable match, basically. What do you see studios do without legions of unpaid, paying QA testers? They just hire them all. Typically, most companies that are smaller than CIG, obviously, but most indie companies have like this perpetual like experimental mode where they'll update it infrequently, and when it's ready to go, they'll just pull from the experimental mode to release. If PSG could port players rep in game to purchase ships, except for not, they might not get 15 million stipend. Players might play more. I couldn't tell you the reason why players aren't playing the PTU, but it's just all I can say is that it's pretty clear that players aren't playing the PTU. I couldn't tell you why that is the case, but it is the case. Oh, they added a line for player count. I think they always say that, though. I might be wrong. They may try to increase the player count, or they may be preparing it for 4.0. Got proof of that? You got no time for that? Then you're just making accusations without any evidence knowledge. I think just in general, gamers in general need to start asking for sources. Because it's so easy just to make shit up in this day and age. Not just in gaming, but in the world. And people just fucking buy it because they want to believe it rather than like asking for sources. Especially for our own, like, fulfilling our own bias is the thing. We're all guilty of trying to listen to people who already agree with us rather than trying to listen to the opposite side. Trust me, bro, shit just is bad, but the fucking other PTU when I was in Hangar, it was a new feature. It was transformative enough that I didn't want to play the old version. That sort of transporter figure helps a lot. It does, but you can't rely on transformative features every single patch. And like, I don't think you'll see a huge amount of people playing 4.0 because of bugs, even though it does have server meshing and pyro kind of thing. Is CR's salary listed on 2023 financial report? I think they do. They definitely list the salary of executives. I think it may be lumped in with just all of the salaries, but yeah. Are you serious? Most of you here think Chris Roberts, the owner of a $10 million mansion, isn't drawing a 7-figure salary? They didn't say that. I'm just saying you said he's getting PPE loans, and for $15 million is all going to PPE loans. It's like, okay, do you have a source for that? That's it. Easy their knowledge, easy. I think there was some mentions of his salary at some point. It was definitely it was definitely set figures, like in million something. Also, this game is more than just Chris Roberts. His salary is normal for a CEO exec, which is probably low for a developer CEO. I strongly doubt he's in this for the money. If he was in this for the money, he would be doing something else. I do think that he probably pays himself too much money, but for considering how much money CIG like pulls in, but that's his own fucking decision. He's the CEO and owner. It's his company. Not aiming for the money with this model? I don't know about that. CIG actually, in terms of profits, doesn't make a shit ton of profits. If CIG made a shit ton of profits, Chris would also be entitled to some of those profits being the owner. It's not a leak, because they posted the patch notes. Why is there so much hostility in game chat? This is just kind of how it happens every so often. You're much more tolerant than I would be if I was to stream. I'm generally of the opinion that it's better for people to talk about stuff than it is for people to just shut down opinions. There's a point where it's just like no one's listening to each other, people just shouting, and at that point it's just like, cool, no one cares. Let's like, it's not productive. But I think the question of how much does Chris Roberts make is not an invalid question. But at the end of the day, it's also his company. It's his choice. Just like nobody has any say in what a small business person pays themselves, except for the IRS. It's none of our fucking business. As long as you feel like the money you're paying to CIG is worth the development of what's going on, then it's fine. If not, then don't buy it. I don't think it's a productive conversation, but I'd like to know. You made 350? Yeah. Cadillac tractor when? Doesn't it have a tractor on the back, just not in the front? This is Krill 5, right? I think I lit it properly. You get pirated since the new cargo update? I haven't. I was actually surprised by that. Then again, I typically go solo in these sort of small runs, which doesn't net a lot of people a lot of money. Pokemon here. Bastion's been around a while. Now, see, this is where we're getting to the point where we're just screaming at each other for no reason. Dell's right on that one. It's one thing to say, Chris Roberts did this. Chris Roberts kicked my dog. Chris Roberts said these sorts of things, which would, you know, be fine if you're like saying, hey, this is the history of what CIG has done in the past. But you're not. You're saying that the history of the past is also the current present, which we don't have evidence for. The pirate community is pretty demoralized about earnings with all the new cargo contracts. I think generally what needs to happen is Pyro needs to come out. I also think that the pirate community needs to come to grips with the idea that PvP piracy is not going to be the main way you make money in Star Citizen. They definitely need to add more NPCs though. We definitely need a trash can. Empire's always hard mode for not McMillionaire mode, but it does need adjustments. Again, to bring my critique of CIG, I think CIG is making a huge mistake on a game that they built as a fucking sandbox. So they're not giving us sandbox tools. as a fan of Sandbox games, I think CIG is making a mistake of promoting their game as a Sandbox game and then slowly pulling it into a theme park. It definitely needs to strike the balance, but you know, like a lot of people in this chat, I want Star Wars Galaxies 2.0. And I want WoW in space. Yeah, I don't think CIG lies in the sense of like they maliciously are sitting there being like, we can fuck over people. I think CIG panics and will say the wrong thing. I can count the number of times I'm pretty sure CIG just lied to our faces, like on my hand. There's like a couple times it's been pretty egregious. Like when Aaron Roberts tried to explain that a staggered development was going to speed up development, knowing full well that it wasn't going to speed up development when it first started. It was going to actually slow development down and then speed it up later. He just kind of sat there and said, this is what's going to happen. And it's like, Aaron, what the fuck are you saying, my dude? Just admit what it is. It's for burnout. It's to prevent burnout, which he did say at the beginning, and then said it's going to speed up development, which it didn't. The 3.24 is not holding up to 4.0. It's not holding up 4.0 in CIG's mind. It's not, it was not holding up 4.0's completion because that's CIG speak. Some folks might not know of Star Wars Galaxies. So Star Wars Galaxies, the best way of describing it is the Star Wars experience that everybody wants to have up until a point when they made everyone a Jedi. It was, for its time, an innovative and interesting experiment in how to create a sandbox and a theme park at the same time. I'm still hearing complaints from people that say they can't upgrade the Atlas, but there are no upgrades to it from things below, mainly with those referrals. Yeah. I think that's a mistake on CIG's part. I think if they made a smaller things upgrade up to the Atlas, like the Pulse, they'd sell fuck tons more Pulses, or they'd sell those other smaller ones too. I wish I played Star Wars Galaxies in that rare Jedi era. Big gaming regret of mine, just passed. I played a little bit of it before it happened. I barely got into it. It was fun. It was very MMO. Like it was an EverQuest clone in many ways, but it's evolution to allow for people to build towns, to have different kind of class systems. It was a very interesting experiment. And I think CIG could learn from that experiment, especially with things like they're already building outposts. Like the homesteading is going to be a thing that they want to do. And that's perfect for that Star Wars Galaxies experience. But CIG is building homesteads and then actively moving away from things like giving more player agency with things like jump points and other things like that. I have no idea what Soul Singer is. Nobody does. The only people who know are the people who filed the trademark. And it could be anything. The stories I hear about crafting is awesome. People are getting really well known for like, wow, you have an authentic AstroPub blaster. Yeah, it's that kind of thing, which I think CIG could definitely build on top of, which is something I hope that they're looking at. But then you look at a lot of their decisions when it comes to gameplay decisions, like travel, like missions. Soul Singer is CR's new blues band. It's the Xi'an sex toy that they're trying to sell. They're trying to expand out a little bit. CHG had a band at one point. Crack my lights. But yes, CIG had a band. That was the original group who recorded Full Burn, was a CIG band. Yeah. If I remember correctly, that was the case. Hey, Delco Novi, how you doing? Jared has some pipes. Yeah, he can sing. But yeah, to get to back to my point, CIG seems to be developing with closed loops in mind rather than open loops. And by closed loop, I mean like this mission itself is a closed loop. Pick up a box, go to some place, drop it off. Closed loop. There's no interesting options to do other than this. And now you could view this as just the beginning of the system and they'll expand more, but a lot of these sorts of decisions seem to be in that direction. Thanks for watching the Anvil history video. Those lore videos are gold. Thank you for watching. I just released the Gladius video, which is doing okay. I'm glad people are enjoying it. Whatever could they be recording? Yeah, I'm at this point, like, with the announcement of things like that it's an active Bengal carrier is the interior scene, considering what they did last year. The fact that Jeff Snelly is recording a brand new track for Squadron, obviously for Squadron 42, and like it's clear CIG is doing something with Squadron 42 this year, and they're doing a much more of Squadron 42 than they did last year, which I think is just, it's all but certain that this is they're gonna release it. Have you forgotten about the dynamic mission system? No, but CIG has. Yeah, I would love to see CIG make the Stiletto. To make, like, have it, like, be an Asperia ship. To make the Stiletto. Kind of a retro ship, similar to the Zeus. That'd be a great ship to get only in game, too. Execute's been here for a while there, Caniac. I'm glad you did that. First attending, that is. Yeah, I wish I could go. But I had to, my tooth exploded and I don't have the time off anymore. I'd also love to see a Tavaran Jackal. Yes, a defensive version of the For those of you who don't know, the Jackal is the model for which the Hurricane was built. So the Hurricane was built off the idea of taking Tavaran technology and using it against them. However, the Tavaran technology was about using the secondary seat instead of being an offensive weapon to be a defensive engineering station where they could aim the shields and manage their systems a little bit more while the pilot just focused on flying and fighting. So basically a defensive version of the Hurricane. I'd love to see that. So my tooth is gone, as you can see here. And it exploded the day before the first day of school. So I had to take some days off of school earlier to get it cleaned up and fixed. And now I'm gonna have to take more days off of school later this year to go back in and get the implant put back in. So do I have a whistle? No, but I can. My lisp sometimes pops up when I'm trying to record. And I'm not even joking about the explosion, like an explosion, because it didn't hurt. But I bit into a piece of bread, which is apparently pretty common when tooth breaks. But usually when a tooth breaks, you have the results. Like, I bit into a piece of bread, and then I realized my tooth was gone. Pulled out the bread. I didn't swallow it. It wasn't in the bread. It wasn't in my mouth. It was just gone. It was like the tooth dissolved as I bit into a piece of bread, but the bread was still there. So it just went. It just incinerated itself. We're twinsies again. I'm not even joking, Cindy. I mentioned it, and like a bunch of people, even in my personal life, are like, "Yeah, my tooth broke recently this year too." I'm like, "What the fuck happened this year? Why did everyone's teeth break?" Just get a flipper until you get an implant. I have a flipper, but I can't talk with the flipper. The flipper just is like, blah, 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 blah. I have it, but I just look like a redneck, which is fine. It takes some practice, yeah. The hell's a flipper? Give me 2 seconds. I'll show you. I think technically it's called a flapper, not a flipper, but it's this. It's a fake tooth, but it's done with a, oh wow. It's done like a retainer. Ah. Yeah. I just gotta get used to it. You gonna barf on stream? Yeah. Doop. I sound like Steve Urkel? Yeah, I know. If I practice, I can get myself to sound normal, but mostly normal. I have to focus on it so I don't like hit my tongue at the top of the roof like that, but yeah. There you go. Ta-da. I didn't even know what it was until like afterwards. They told me what it is. I was like, oh, so I have to like wear this for like a while, and they're like, no, it's just cosmetic. I was like, I would just go without a fucking tooth. That'll be fine. Need to get it loosened. Same thing happened to me before I put an implant. I don't even fucking wear it, so I don't. It's not even that bad. I'd already paid for it though. Do what I did when I dislocated my shoulder. When someone asks what happened, you just say MMA and walk away. It doesn't really matter. You don't really see my tooth that much. It comes up every so often, but especially since I get an implant in March, not too bad. But it doesn't mean that I lose. Be right back. Water. I'm back. You envy? Oh no, it cost me 11 grand too, but I was able to get about $2,000 of it paid for, and I had to pay almost 7,000 on my own. I just was lucky enough that I had a an house savings account, HSA, that I had not used at all. So yeah, that's the cost. I think it was 11K, and I but my insurance paid like 3K out of for it, so I had to pay 6,000 out of pops. Them luxury bones is what we call them. I just go without a tooth. 11,000 stupid. Whole mouthful, you could buy a couple cars. Yeah, it's already seeded. I just need to get the they're waiting for it to heal. They said it's going to take about 6 months for it to heal, and then they install like a tungsten sort of section to it, and then another couple of months, and then they add the actual implant. Yeah, you can do a bridge. You couldn't do a bridge with my tooth. It was fucked. Like I said, it exploded. There was not much left of it. Yeah, they fuck up your teeth to make it work. Yep, you got to let the bone integrate with it. So I went through something else. They said something about installing bone into my nose, in my my mouth. I was like, okay, that sounds metal. We're gonna drill a bone in your bone. Shemp, I asked them if I could if I could get like a tungsten tooth or a tooth that could shoot a laser beam out. I wanted a bionic tooth, and they laughed at me and said that they can't give me a bionic tooth. Call out to all medical experimental folks out there who watch my show for some reason. If you got a bionic tooth, let me know. I'll volunteer. Define bionic. If it gives me free Wi-Fi. If it releases a sweet scent that makes everyone fall in love with me if they see me. If it contains a mind control beam that can make me take over the world. I don't know. That, like I said, it could fire a portable laser out of it. But it looks exactly like a normal tooth. Maybe it's got a little compartment that I can like store things in. Trying to get Chrome. I see. You know it, Choom. Obsession by Paul's Tooth. If I could just open beer cans with my teeth, that'd be cool. That'd be cool shit. Just like. A tiny singularity that's hidden inside my tooth. Yes, Chemp. That's what I want. Jaws from Moonraker. Must have hit a button for ESP, turn it off. I don't know how to turn that back on. But yeah, that's the reason why I can't go to CitizenCon, because I don't have enough time off for that. I have enough time off for CitizenCon or my tooth. And I chose the tooth. That reminds me, when CIG adds dogs in game, presumably with regen capability and LTI, will there also be a combat variant with laser beam strapped to their head? Maybe to attack you.
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers. But you can never, ever take away my space game.
Poorly. Probably.
N1GHTCOB just resubscribed for 31 months. Paul, you impressive historian, you're still crushing this gig.
Thank you so much for that 31 months of support there, Night Cobb. You're very important, Papa. Very impressive, Mr. Very pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. It's funny because in the live, when I went live for the Gladius video, someone said, "This reminds me of BattleTech," and I'm like, it should, because I based it off of Tex Talks BattleTech. The Gladius video is 100% a Tex Talks BattleTech video that I tried to emulate but in the style for Star Citizen. Can we get our tickets back free? No. No, it's too late for that. The other thing I'd be worried about is I'm taking up somebody's seat for that's someone who could be going that I have that I have their seat for now. Yeah. The one thing I watched a lot of Tex Talks Battletech, and the one thing I really like about Tex, the Tex does a lot of context. He's all about context. And so he'll give you a 4-hour lecture where half of it is just on the context of the creation of the mech, and then 2 hours on the mech and its history and famous usage and stuff like that. Best you can hope for is your tooth is a LED sign that says subscribe to the AstroPub. Yes. Seeing the headhunters tame the Copians makes them more appealing, more sociable than the initial impressions. Yeah, I know. Your tooth, no matter what you do, your teeth will fall out. That's always the case. The longer you live, the more your teeth are going to fall out. But this one was entirely my fault. You can give people your ticket? I don't think you could give people your ticket. Loved your Twitter clickbait, by the way. Don't ask me why. I know that platform, probably just to watch it burn. I'm on that platform. Listen, I didn't really think of it as clickbait at the time, and then I realized, oh wait, people might mistake this, and I'm just like, fuck it. Just fuck it. Like, if people lack the context for what I've been talking about for the last fucking month about making this Gladius video, then fuck it. They don't deserve. They deserve to get scammed like that. Jesus Christ. Not even scam. I'm just me saying, hey, I'm doing this, and people are like, this is cool. When's CIG doing this? It's like, what are you talking about? I'm doing a lore video. I've been talking about it for a month. Oh, I didn't know that. It's like, you should have known that. Are you fucking serious right now? It's not even that bad of a clickbait. It was just me saying soon with a picture of the Squadron 42 image, which has the Gladius in it. It's like, I'm doing a video on the Gladius, and I bring up Squadron 42 in the video. Was this you doing a lore video? I released a video on the Gladius. It's a 47 minute video on the Gladius. And yeah, it's a 47-minute video on the Gladius. About half of it is directly related to Gladius, so it's still like a 25-minute video on the Gladius with the context for about 20 minutes. But I was freaking there for the fire it would ignite. The funny thing is that Tomato made a joke about me announcing Squadron 42, and people legitimately thought that I was going to announce Squadron 42. Which is like, I don't know whether to feel insulted or like super like flattered. To think that CIG would let me announce Squadron 42. Like, who the fuck you think I would take? Chris would let me take his big day? No. No. The only person who's announcing Squadron 42's release date is Chris Roberts. That man loves a show. He loves to put on a show. He's a showman. And decide an old friend of mine. Clickbait isn't bad. People who say clickbait is bad don't understand clickbait. You want me to clickbait you because you want me to tell you why you should watch my video. Because without me making you go, hey, this looks interesting, you wouldn't watch the video. And if you enjoy the video, then it worked. That's the point. I'm not going to apologize for advertising good. Well, if you click hold Z free look while you're in Atlas, way easier when turning the chassis. Ooh, good to know. And I'm done. This is some good money. I'm making like 40K per run. It's taking me a little bit longer because I'm hanging out and talking, but you know. So there's two types of clickbait. There's the clickbait that's entirely designed for sensationalism to try to get you to click, and it's actually doesn't helpful. And I think that's what most people associate it with. But when you do something that's sensational to get someone to click it so that they're intrigued to click it, and they find out that it maybe isn't everything that they thought it was originally, but it's still good and they enjoyed it, it's just good advertising. Because the thing is that most people don't give a fuck. The rule of this is just kind of the rule to live, to understand life. This is a little bit of Paul wisdom here, a little teacher wisdom. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. No one cares about me. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. If you want someone to care, you have to make them care. And you have to make them care by making them either think it's cool, that they're related to it, that they can get some sort of advantage from it. That's the only reason why people pay attention to anything. And that's the key with all advertising, is you have to tell people you want this product, but they don't know that they want the product because they don't give a shit. Because most people don't give a shit about anything except for maybe themselves, if that. That's just the general rule of thumb. And it sounds a little bit nihilistic, because it kind of is, but like, no, like, it's one way I got over like my own sort of like, oh no, everyone's gonna, no one cares. No one cares what I do. As long as I'm not making a scene, no one gives a shit. Yeah, I'd be doing stupid stuff like like being outside or woodworking. Maybe contributing to the betterment of a species more than that way. But yeah, I'm gonna need you to keep cooking me the. I will. Don't worry about that now. You have a Freelancer lore vid? Not yet. There's not one yet. There will be when CIG gives me a little bit more. I need to know who designed it. I need to know some more context behind it, but I think I'm almost there. Unless you're in the UK and get arrested for the mean tweet against the government. This is the reason why we had a revolution knowledge. That and beans on toast. But the reason why you care about Paul Verhoeven films is because Paul Verhoeven made you give a shit about Paul Verhoeven. I am like super close to doing a MISC video, but not yet. I'm going to do a complete history of Drake this year. Next year, I'll do the MISC video. In the pocket of his jeans, hitchhiker on the bright side. I am definitely doing the complete history of Drake Interplanetary. Check it out, IAE this year. I'll release it right before IAE. Because I generally got the flow for that. I fucking love Drake. I love Drake so much. I got a soft spot in my heart for, I think I realized this. I was talking with Cam about it, my wife about it. And one of my, I'm a big sucker for the trickster, the fox, the coyote, the Loki, the sort of the unreliable, tricky rogue character in stories that you have to rely on, but you know you can't rely on them, but they'll do the right thing at the right moment for the wrong reasons. And that is Drake. That is Drake to a T. They'll do all of the things, the wrong things for the right things for the wrong reasons, and somehow stumble into doing something good. I flew the Redeemer around the other day, and I thought of you. All my gunners were popping blockaders around PT like their party balloons. Were you thinking of me mentally sending you daggers to blow up that ship? I was stupid and bought the Ironclad Assault, Ironclad and the Ironclad Assault. I have the Assault. It's I have it in a CCU from the M2, I think. It's running. You can't stop the meteor coming down. You won't stop a bullet when it's barreling down on you. Like you can't stop the change that's rushing through. Smart. The M2 is almost a downgrade from the Assault now. Yep. So the M2 is slightly more expensive or slightly cheaper than the Assault. It's like $15 cheaper than the Assault. So you go from M2 to the Assault, and that's a $15 cost. No bullshit though. I really don't treasure flying the Redeemer. I have the weird relationship with the Redeemer, and it's more than people realize. Because a lot of people are like, Paul hates the Redeemer. And like, I do. I hate that thing with a fiery fucking passion. And the reason why I hate it so much is because it's wasted potential. There's so much wasted potential in storytelling, in ship design, and ship functions. Instead of CIGs just saying, fuck it, we ballin' with this thing, they went, but do I have to? And then just kind of, it out of the door. Oh, I've definitely got sour grapes. But also the Brutus, yeah. It's like, you gave up perfection for this. I took my love for Farming Simulator to a step further, went to Craigslist, and I'm driving for a farmer this harvest season for the fuck of it. Nice. Are you doing tractor, or are you doing just like driving a, are you just doing like a transport or on the farm? Sounds like more like a love-hate relationship. I love the idea of a mercenary gunship. I hate the implementation of it. Anything else? Bend in the road. No, straight line. Follow the bends, the road. Check my rep work real quick. Just a little over member. Wow, I am a ways away from experienced. Okay, so it's L4, L3, and L2. All right, so ice and food. Stims. Okay, let me see which ones I have. Okay, so L3, L4, L5, and L2. L4, L2, L3. So I'm going to go L2, L3, L4, and then L5. Yeah. So L5 is going to be at the back, so I don't need much there. So L4 is ice. So 5 SC of ice. And food. 6 food. Okay. Cam froze? Okay, give me a moment. No, that's just me. I'm just a good ventriloquist. There you go. Daddy Man just got posted 5 minutes ago. Check the new tab in the subreddit. Check it out. It's not much. Yeah. Not much. Oh, there's a couple things. I'll give you the rundown, the basic rundowns. New NFTs and caves are in. Several character customizations. Zeus is not. They found something called the Misk Fortune in the files. That could be anything. Grey Cat Cav could be anything. New music in the files. New menu music, which seems like the Star Engine trailer. And then another track contains the RTGI demo, which I don't remember what that is. MFDs on the Caterpillar and on the Spirit. Some of the stuff in the files. Health app and Mobiglass. New Marine Commander UI. Formation Flying. Night Vision Equipment. Science Guild. Industrial Guild. Sports Guild. Pyro 4 Outpost, Resource Network, Argo Tractor Beam, Atlas Tractor Beam, Jump Drive modules, Life Support modules, Harbor Trolley, Mirai Origin, Murray Cup, Star Kit, and Racing Suits and Helmets, the digital goodie pack for CitizenCon, item dispensers, epoxy gentine, repair missions, new character customization options, Crusader discovery tours. Ooh, okay. Xi'an Ghost Ship. Oh, 890 Gems getting skins. It's getting 3 skins. You're lucky. Lucky. All right. Why is this patch so fire? Because it's the CitizenCon patch. Zeus has a bunch of paints too. Looks like it's got a nice Joker paint too. It's like a purple and green. It's going to be my paint if I have one. So L4 is 5 ice. Ooh, I like that style. Very nice. It's green and purple. I'm also a big fan of purple, so. Oh, it's on the Reddit. It's just some data mine from the leaks. They go through the they went through the Evocati branch and data mined everything that they could find. Pressurized rank for your ice mixed drinks, exactly. It's important to note that probably a lot of that is not even going to be coming in 3.2, 4.2. Like a lot of the guild stuff seems like it's a setup for possibly reputation for 4.0. And we know like the resource management and the life support stuff isn't going to be until 4.0. So there's no, it's like, it's there as a temporary measure because they're just putting it in, or it's in the files when they push 3.24. So that's 4.0 engineering stuff. It's not coming in this next patch. The reason why it's coming in now is because it's in the it's in the builds that they pushed. There's a lot of stuff they don't clean up in the builds in their first Evocati patches. Still no pizza, yep. Okay, so then L3 is the next one, which is 6 pressurized ice, which is perfect. There should be a YouTube stream. Oh yeah. Oh, usually what I'm responding to. Yeah, I'm responding to the YouTube stuff. Yeah, I would not expect all of that to be in the patch. I expect a lot of it to just be available. Just stuff that's in the patch until, because they didn't clean it up, because there's no point in cleaning it up, because, again, CIG is going to be releasing a lot of this to 4.0, which they're going to release at the end of the year. Hopefully before... Exactly. Misc Raptor was a thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have something similar with the Grey Cat Cav or the Misc. It was a good name. I love the pun. It's definitely a pun. The Misc Fortune. I mean, come on. Come on. That's just good. That's applaud, CIG. Applaud. Misc Fortune. Bravo. Bravo. Ooh, a misc information would be good. That is a misc salvager. Wait and see. It could also be a miner. They already have the prospector. Could also be an information runner. Yeah, but gray, the things you can pull out from is generally if you're going to look at a gray cat's going to be a vehicle. They don't make ships. They make vehicles. Hey, they're adding the United Resource Workers. They're adding uwu to the game, chat. Academy of Science. The Imperial Sports Federation, United Resource Workers. Gray Cat Mining Titan? Could be. Cav seems to indicate some sort of speed. Like cavalry. I could see it being a Titan, though. I like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if CIG did a bunch of Titans stuff, because that is 100% like money printing right there. I could see it being an armor, like the Atlas, the ATLS, the Titan suit. So it's 100% not proven. That's an interesting change there, game. Titan mentioned in the files leak. Was there a Titan? Okay, so we're gonna go to 2, 3. That's 3. Two. Where did they mention that specifically there, Jar? Cat, what? Did I miss a leak? Leak? Yes. Gray Cat is a company in game. They make the Steve. They make the oh, that's what it fucking is. Watch the Gray Cat Cav be the RTV or whatever it is, the UTV. Watch that be the name for the UTV. A webcam crashed? No, it should be fine. It's crashed earlier. We did new UTE. UTV, whatever. And the new stuff from the files? Okay, I'll take a look at it. Titan suit, actions, animations, test tags, controller defs, deployable weapon tags, global tags, malfunction tags, melee tags, motion tags, sounds, and static firing mode tags. Melee! Well, thanks to you, I love the lore of that company. Gray Cat, I love Gray Cat. I think CIG does a pretty good job with most of the companies. The companies feel realistic, and they also feel 100% like fucked. All of them do. I'm guessing it's a combat Titan. It's probably just called the Titan suit because that's CIG works with names all the time. That's the thing they've been calling for forever. And like I said, CIG didn't just make the CIG didn't just make the ATV in a vacuum, you know. The ATV, the ATLS, the cargo loader. All of those animations existed and were canned for something else, and they're gonna make a fuck ton of these things. You got mad about it being $40. Wait until that fucking Titan suit comes out in the store for like fucking $70, $80. Question: why does Freelancer have active VTOL? It was supposed to, but they had a problem with the engine flipping because they had that problem with the Cutlass. They're not gonna sell modules for it. They're just gonna sell separate suits. Yeah, I think we'll see the Zeus Titan before Squadron, or at least around Squadron. We saw the Mark II Hornet and the Lightning in. If they have it laying around, they're just gonna throw it in there. My peace and gas with the ghosts out there. The new menu music is good. Let me see if they have a link to it. I'll pause this for now. Oh wait, I shouldn't be playing because I actually do have Evocati. I am actually have stuff. You can check it on for yourself, though. It's good to hear. Okay, so I need Arkel to. This is so inefficient, but I love this damn thing. There we go. So it's 2 stims here. I don't think they have a quantum travel, but that dynamic may be more difficult to find. QT music, yeah. It's way quicker unloading. But yeah, thank you, Butthole, for that little the Z motion trick. But I don't think it's really good loading because you just don't get a lot of the you don't get a lot of the preciseness that you do with a hand tractor beam. And I think if I had somebody who was helping me out with this one, rocking in the ATLS, it would probably be better. But yeah, this makes me want to hop on live and do a few cargo missions. I've largely not played much the last 2 months, waiting for 4.0. It's fun. I enjoy it. QL 3 time. Or ARCL 3 time. QL 3. Fuck you saying, Paul. Are elevators fixed? Define fixed and define elevators. We're talking about elevators to a specific location? Yeah. Are we talking about cargo elevators? Yeah. At least for the station elevators are fixed. They've been fixed for a while now. I would like to finish a blockade runner event, but the lack of player participation and low cargo spawns kill it. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but I think CIG has misunderstood something, which is that players generally aren't motivated right now, and I think more people would do it when you have server meshing. Oh, the scrapyards? Last I heard, the Brio's breakyard doesn't work still, no. Some of them do, not all of them. The stations work. Ooh. Oh, yeah. The Sports Guild, Science Guild, Industrial Guild, those are all reps. So they definitely have new missions for them. I'm guessing the Sports Guild, the Imperial Sports Federation, is probably for racing. The Academy of Science is obviously for some sort of scientific stuff. They even added a science outpost for Pyro. So the Atlas tractor beam, by the way, y'all, it's the Sure Grip, the tractor rifle. In 3.24.2, if not later, they're gonna give you the Atlas version of it. So you're going to get an Atlas tractor beam with your with the tractor rifle. You have any idea how many eggs get shoved that hole? The elevator's broke as fuck. Yeah, all those gasping weevils. The issue with BR is that most players do not disable the soft death on the pirate ships. If you can get a big group and disable 100% cargo soft death for 60 to 80% of the event goes faster, it really kicks in speed once you get the large ship spawn. Yeah. Would that make the ATLS almost pointless then? Almost like the ATLS wasn't designed specifically as a cash grab or something. The ATLS is designed for drain and charge. Eventually, your tractor beams will have to have, with 4.0 at least, hopefully, it'll have to have those power cells that they have sold, but you don't really use them. So it'll have ammo. And the ATLS doesn't require charge. So it's slower, but it's an infinite tractor beam. Eventually, it'll probably have to get recharged too, but yeah. Also, when you start using things like your exertion, when you like physical exertion starts happening more, you won't be exerted as much by using the tractor beam. And also, eventually, the ATLS will be able to hold 32, and the current version of the tractor beam will not be able to hold the 32. So the tractor rifle won't always be able to hold 32 SCU of cargo, which means you'll have to use the ATLS for the 32, which is a super rare kind of thing outside of massive cargo, which makes sense for the ATLS because it's designed for massive cargo loading and unloading. It's not really a daily loader sort of thing. I just hate how the blockades instantly respawn. Yeah, I'd love for them to, like, jump in, but I think that's a thing CIG needs to do later. I offered help. I know you did. I know you did. I'm fine. I think I'm doing it solo because I enjoy doing it solo, though. I'm not all about efficiency. I'm just hanging out and enjoying myself. Because if you look at my my money, I've got pretty good. I've made a little bit of money, not a ton. You made like 100 so far. We were soft deathing caterpillars and they didn't have any cargo in that event. No, yeah, the caterpillars were not spawning anything. That was a known bug that even the devs knew about it and recognized it. My problem is I know the developer who does it, but I'm like, Kawaku. I'm like, fuck, what's his real name? but he posted about it. Elliot, that's his real name. Too many names. The Freelancers are the most larger found for us. Yeah, the Freelancers are the ones that worked consistently. And they dropped the largest ones. The C2s drop full 32 at like multiple SCU cargoes, or 32 SCU cargoes. We found multiple C2s with the huge lines. I was hanging out with Loken last Friday doing it with Loken and his crew. We found 2 C2s towards the end of our run. We were able to do it once. Get it finished once, which was nice. I think we made like 100K out of it. It's not worth the full effort for it, but you also get to shoot things, so... and it takes a long time. The problem is that it probably would have taken less time, but of course, you know, we were disabling caterpillars that had absolutely nothing in them. I figure like if we didn't have to deal with the with finding empty caterpillars, we would have been done a lot faster. I hate this. Remove this CG. I hate this thing. This is Arc L3, so 6 pressurized ice. The Freelancer is a great example of a ship that was designed for a game that never existed. So the Freelancer was designed for a game that was never fully, so it's 3. It was designed like you've got the top hangar, the top airlock at the top in that middle section, which is like a center section for more cargo. It's got 4 seats and 4 beds for a ship that's designed for 2 people. They were definitely experimenting with it, being like, hey, we can do this and we can do that. It was the first real medium ship because the Cutlass took a little bit longer than people remember. So, like, this. That had originally a reason. It's a docking ring. But there's no reason to have a docking ring on the ship anymore because that's not how they're going to dock and stuff. So this doesn't make a lot of sense. This would work, but it doesn't make a lot of sense because this back here could easily be a remote turret. This is back when they weren't trying to do no remote turrets. Now they have the ability to do remote turrets. You could remove that entirely and increase the cargo out to like almost the edge, which would mean this area in here is superfluous. So you could replace this with like an engineering section for engineering components. This makes sense, but like you only need 2 beds, 3 at the most. You could have easily turned like this into like a cubby space, expanded this area into more of a kitchen. You could also remove a lot of these 4 seats that only have 2 seats, push this forward and get a little bit more living space. There's like a lot of wasted space because it was designed for a game that never existed. Man turrets are more manly. That's true. Which means they're incredibly impractical. I think the Carrack is a good kind of midway. They designed the Carrack with a lot of modern ideas of what CIG, what Star Citizen was going to be, and they got about half of it right. But I think if they had 2 seats where the side seat, because remember originally, if you look, the side seat has its own, or had its own control stick in the original design, and they removed the control stick in later designs. but it's designed to have its own flight stick. But there's no flight stick capability. You can't have the co-pilot fly anymore. So instead, what it should be is an engineering console, but also a turret, so that allows for more usability. MISC is famous for its efficiency. The Freelancer should be the most efficient of all those MISC ships. The top hatches function exactly like the top hatches in the Idris, but the Idris needs EVA hatches. The Freelancer doesn't. It has its own side EVA hatch with its like ladder. Four-seats and four beds are a thing because of multi-crew. It's a two-seater ship, though. It's a two-person ship. At most three. Like, the idea of multi-crew has changed from having every seat be something different and be able to utilize for something different to any seat can be anything. So it becomes a two-person ship with a massive amounts of cargo. Like the Spirit. It's like the Spirit, where it should have two seats but a little bit more efficiency. Always wanted the back two seats to be made of a remote turret seats for the pilot gunner, so you could shoot both sideways like the original commercial. That would make sense too, but right now it just doesn't make a lot of sense there how it is. How many Polari do you think got melted because of the last ISC? I don't know. It's hard to tell because the problem that always is the case is people always underestimate what engineering is going to be. Multi-crew is never really implemented. Taking away functions before they are is bad. They're not taking away functions, but they already had working on multi-crew with the engineering gameplay, and that's really what they're going to be doing in the future. So. And that may be the reason why they haven't done an internal rework yet, is because they're waiting for all the stuff to come in so they can figure out what the Freelancer is supposed to be like in the new version of Star Citizen. But like right now, the back seats literally do nothing. You even have a power seat? That's all they do. You can kind of mess with this stuff, but it doesn't really do much. You could do the same thing in the side seat. I turned off all of the power, that's for sure. You can still troll your friends in the back of it. They're troll seats. The heck? There you go. Sure they do. They get an extra sketch. Yeah. Like the Connie, the Freelancer needs an internal repass. I think the exterior is fine. I think they could just rework the interior to make it a little bit more efficient, to bring it up to the modern standards. Luckily, I don't think CIG has much in terms of these ships anymore. Like, it's this, the Connie, and then the Aurora, I think are the other ones. Because, like, the 300's already been updated, so is the Cutlass, so is the Mustang, so has the Hornet. So the Avenger is probably the only other one of those that needs kind of an update. I expect the Avenger to get an update before Squadron 42 comes out, honestly. Though the Freelancer is in Squadron. We know it is, so. The Reliant needs a full rework, my man. It doesn't need like an interior rework. It needs to get 12 SU of cargo. Astro, I hope you remember me. I complained about my crashing problem. It's going big on issue counts right now. Good to hear that, Black and Blue. Hopefully, I told you to kind of like reach out to some folks. Hopefully everything's working though. Freelancer Max is involved in something spooky in Squadron 42. Yes. That code 6000 problem is a launcher on the launcher. Seems like everyone's dealing with it. Oh, okay. Just a dream. Then finds a picture in the pocket of his jeans. She was a hitchhiker on the bright side. With the name that left him blind. There's a supernova on the corner playing a game. Lost in the lane. I could tell you more about what the Freelancer is part of, but I don't want to because people get mad at me for spoiling the game. This is probably my last run. Thank you for hanging out so far, y'all. I do have to get up early because I'm getting observed for my yearly observation tomorrow. Hopefully it goes well. Wish me luck. As always, for me, I get to talk with my admin, And the admin was like, okay, what day, what period do you want me to come in? You know, let's talk about what you can do. So as always, I'm like, okay, I've got to kind of get the vibe of my students and figure out what they're good for, and like, you know, what. You know, like which period's the best one for me. And every year I'm like, this period seems okay. And then I get closer to the observation and it turns out that period is awful. It's like, God damn it. Like the most unengaged, not interested students, and you know, I got to fight them to even do their work, that kind of thing. It's always frustrating. It's like, God damn it. How do I handle students using AI? I tell them to stop using it because I can catch them easy. So I teach high school students. So if I suspect a student of doing using AI, what I'll do is, first off, it's easy to tell because students who use AI are lazy. So they themselves do not write like that. And they usually use really high academic language, which is very odd for a student who doesn't use it on a daily basis. So, but even if it's like, hey, I don't know, maybe the student's just a really good writer and just not a very good talker. I talk with them and say, what does this mean? And usually if I catch them say, hey, you know, what did you mean here? They'll go, oh, it's what I wrote. And it's like, can you explain what you wrote? Because they should be able to at least explain a little bit of it. And they can't. Offer them students to do their work? No. It's super easy. Like, whenever I hear people complain about it, I'm like, you should know your students. Even if you're a college professor, you should know your students. And if your students are giving you some weirdly highly academic writing after not writing that way before, you can catch them. The hard part is to catch them if they're using it as a tool. But if they're using it as a tool, who gives a shit? Also, AI doesn't actually tell you how you learn. So, like, for instance, I teach government this semester. So I might say, like, one of the things we teach is the seven principles of the U.S. Constitution, but I also teach like ideals, foundational ideals of the U.S. government. And the AI will think both of them are the same. So I'll get like a response from a student. I'll say, hey, what are two ideas that influence the creation of the U.S. government, and give me an example of how they influenced it. They'll say something like something simple, which the AI will come up with, which is on there usually, which is like checks and balances. And then they'll say liberalism. I was like, we've never talked about liberalism at all. Not yet at that point. So where they're getting liberalism? Well, they're either looking it up or they're using AI. And then if you see how it's formatted, it's formatted like an AI would format it. This is AI work. I've caught them multiple times and like I said, don't use AI. They're still using it because they think they can get away with it. But I pick my battles with that. There's no point in yelling at them for using AI. Only if they're using AI and then using it as an excuse to play on their phone. Because I'll just be like, why aren't you doing your work? They'll be like, well, I'm done. It's like, cool, there's an extension for you to do. Do the extension. And the extension is almost always read. And then the assessment that I usually do at the end of every lesson is usually a short paragraph assessment to gather what they actually learned. And I don't open it up until the last 10 minutes of class. So they won't be able to do it until the last 10 minutes of class. And then if they use AI, I'm just give them a low grade. And they go, why did you give me a low grade? It's like, because you didn't do this. Because ChatGPT did it for you. Get them to use better prompts. They're lazy. That's why they're using ChatGPT in the first place. Why the hell would they use better prompts? They're just using it as a way of not having to do their work. They all have laptops from the issued by the school, so they don't read on their phones. I'm also a ninja. This is a little teacher thing, but if my students walk into my room, they don't have privacy in my room because they're there to work. So I've had multiple students be like, why are you nosy? Why are you looking at my phone? I'm like, why are you on your phone in my classroom? You walked into my living room, sat down, and expected me. I told you not to look at your phone, and that if anything I see on your phone is not private, if you have it out, you do that anyways, and then expect privacy? Sir and or madam, you should know better than this. Yeah, my goal with my students is for them to learn or to learn how to cheat better. If they can learn how to cheat better, then I can't catch them, then they've earned a good job, but they never do. It's always they gotta force them to learn something. They usually learn something at the end. Yeah, but why are you looking at your phone? Why do you have it out? You're basically showing it to me. If you have your phone out, I have to tell you not to have your phone out. Don't have it out, because if you have it out, you're showing it to me. Because I'm working, Baston. Are you working? Because if you have your phone out, it means you're not working. You don't walk into my classroom unless you're working. If you're not here to work, you don't have to be here. That's the rules I set. And the best part about it is that, like, I spend the first week really, like, laying out, like, hey, let's all agree on these rules. Make sure you understand these rules. I understand these rules. Like they set up rules for me that I follow and I expect them to follow. And then I set up, so like, these are some rules that I have. I only have a handful of rules. One of them is if you're here, you're working. And, they're all like, this is fair. Do y'all understand it? They're like, yeah. And so I post it on the wall and get everything. And then like 3 weeks later, they're like, wait, what? And it's like, are you expecting me to do work? I have to work the entire time? Why do you make me do all this work? It's like, we talked about this the first week. You were here. You agreed to all of this. I'm not being unreasonable. I told you that what you were expected, and you said it was okay. I went to school before cell phones. What happens if they don't put their phone away? They get a couple warnings, and then I take it away from them for the class. And if they refuse to give it up to me, I call the security for the school or the counselors, and it becomes a big deal that we're gonna have to bring their parents into. Most of them don't, because they know they're smart enough to know that if I have to put the effort in to take your phone and you're gonna make me work for it, then your parents are getting called. And if your parents don't care, then their parents will say they don't care in front of the admin, and the admin will make sure that they don't stay in the school because they don't want that heat on them. That was then. This is now. I also have seniors, so generally speaking, they know the game. So they just passed a rule here: no school phones in the classroom. The problem with phones is that they're good tools, but students don't know how to use them properly. And we're at the point where phones are not tools, but they're addictions. Phones might as well be a cigarette at school. It might as well be vapes. They have the same sort of effect. Students become obsessed with them. They disrupt the school's function. Like any benefit they give are super small in comparison to the disruption they cause. And students are addicted to them. iPad kids. No, because if you jam cell phones, you also jam teacher cell phones, and a lot of kids need those phones because they use them as a comfort device to be able to contact their parents. You got to remember that schools are entirely paid for by taxpayers, and a lot of those taxpayers are the parents. So if parents want to throw a shit fit about their precious little child getting special treatment, then you have to give them special treatment. Unless you have a based admin who are willing to basically tell parents to, fly a kite. I applaud you for teaching something I can never do. Just have to live with the patience. I've learned one of the things when people say things like, Paul, how can you deal with all of these disruptions and stuff like that in my stream? I'm like, this is nothing compared to school. I have dealt with much more hostile people in class. And one of the things I've learned is that if you're patient and you listen to people and you try to understand where someone's coming from, you often learn a lot about what's going on. Like the idea that if someone really doesn't like Star Citizen or constantly shits on Star Citizen, it's because they think about it. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. A lot of those folks who come in here and are critical of CIG or Star Citizen rarely show up to my streams when I'm not playing Star Citizen, which means they care about Star Citizen. They wouldn't be here if they didn't. And it's just a matter of understanding where that passion is becoming frustration. That's it. But at the same time, sometimes that frustration is an outlet for something else, and I'm not your therapist. If it becomes that of a problem, there are other people who you should see, and it's not me. Never played Star Citizen? Would I suggest it? No. I have thousands of hours into this game. Probably 5,000 hours in this game. Probably more. I've been playing it since 2014. No, 2015, when the first playable came out. But no, Star Citizen is not really a game to play right now. Some people do. I don't know how. I'm multi-boxing EVE Online, so I'm kind of degenerate. I've always been interested. Star Citizen will be a good game someday. And we're getting close to that day becoming a reality. It's probably within the next year. But I wouldn't suggest Star Citizen as a main game like you'd play EVE Online. There's honest view. I'll go back to lurking. No problem, Zeno. I would suggest if you have a chance to and you have the space, CIG does free plays. So they do like free weekends or free weeks that they let everyone play who has an account. Set up an account and try it out for free when it's available. Because that's the best option. Like I don't know what your tolerance is for bullshit. So like I'm playing this game more than I've ever played in the past because I'm enjoying this sort of thing. Like just listen to music, chilling out, streaming. I really wish they fixed the red script for completed mission part, my OCD. I really wish they'd give us a play counter for our time. Yeah. And space trucking is zen-like, yo. Yeah. My teacher only ever let me on my phone because of my autoimmune. I try to use as much technology as I can because there's so many tools out there to really ensure that, like, to help all sorts of different types of learners. There's a lot of resources online, basically. And you can't always reliably get online with, where's the last one? Is there any PvP elements? Yes. Yes, there is. So, at any point, I can be pulled out of quantum travel by players. Technically NPCs too, but they don't really function like that yet. Players could pull me out of quantum at any point, disable me, board me, take my shit, and leave me to die. Or kill me and take my shit, or just kill me. Now, there is a criminal element, so that if they do that and they attack me first, then I can press charges, and they can get a criminal rating, and then that criminal rating will issue a bounty for them if it's too high, and then other players can actually hunt them down, and if they kill them, then they go to jail. Yeah, PvP is, I wouldn't say it's rare, but it's not as common as other games. And right now in Star Citizen, because the player volume is so low, like servers only have about 100 people, you just don't have the volume of players to really for it to matter. As CIG it expands the servers and we get more people per server, I think it'll change, but. You've been playing like a minute and a half behind. Sorry, Red. There are events that are PvP oriented, like Jump Town, and the Lockdown used to be a little bit, but yeah, there's definitely events that CIG runs which are heavy PvP focus, but they haven't fully leaned into them. and there's really not a lot of incentive to do it. But the next major next major release, next major system, Pyro, is a lawless system. It's as null-sec as you can get in Star Citizen. All right, once we get this done, I'll kind of call it a night. So I've been streaming for like almost 4 hours now. The other side. So we're going to do office hours tomorrow. I have to do the, and I haven't done the announcement for the schedule, but I'm going to do office hours tomorrow. And then on Friday, Loken and I will be doing some Space Marine 2. Saturday, we've got a captain's table, tentatively, on, the title is, Crying and Buying. Kind of consolidating the people's issues with CIG's like cash grab, while also making more money than they've ever made in a September. So like looking at that, looking at what that like why that's happening, is it a problem, and is like things like can CIG continue this model forever? Is this just a whole lot of noise, a whole lot of sound and fury that means nothing? Or is it the sign of something different? That kind of thing. And right now it's going to be Major Star stuff and Griffin Gaming RPG. For you don't know, Major was did a lot of public relations, so they are a fellow marketer. And Griffin did a lot of work in radio and television, sort of stuff like that. So we all come from similar backgrounds in terms of understanding how people talk with one another, especially with like media and such. I just beat Space Marines 2 campaign right before last. Nice.
You can take away my spaceship.
Spaceship.
You can take away my space suit.
Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can never,
ever
take away my space game.
Mighty Kingfisher just resubscribed for 19 months.
19 months with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much there, Mighty Kingfisher. You're a very important pumper, very impressive, Mr. Very pedestrian. This is your fault. It was chicken night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Shots and cheers, y'all. Thank you, Mighty Kingfisher. How you doing, buddy? I think CIG's next career focus will be racing, possibly. It is, they do have it on the leaks. They talk about the reputation for it. Been good.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Yeah, leaks pop a bunch of stuff. It looks like data men, including more than a few racing suits and one racing gloves. Also, racing reputation group. They're pulling it from the files, so it's definitely something that they're thinking about. But that could mean that it comes out in 3.2, 4.2. It could come in 4.0 or never. There's been leaks, stuff in leaks that just never showed up. Watch my Atlas fall.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Insurance claim has been sent. Thank you. Thanks for
Oh, yeah. The Sidnus? Sidnus, we've known what the Sidnus mining drone is forever. Sidnus is the spider, the tick, the mining tick from Squadron. Some of those racing gears, older stuff CIG's now releasing. Okay, yeah. The spider miner, yeah. It's been in Squadron 42. It's been in multiple Squadron 42 shots. So like pretty much every new information about Squadron 42, we see the fucking Sidnus in it. they love to show it off. Yeah, it used to be a Gray Cat. Gray Cat Industrial. It's GRIN. Yeah, Grin. Gray Cat Industrial Sidnus mining drone. It's huge is an understatement. That thing is fucking massive. It's like, I want to say it's damn near the size of the Reclaimer. It's like half a Reclaimer because its butt is huge. Like the actual storage sack it has on it is just massive. That's most of its mass. It's also remotely operated. It can be operated by an operator, but it also has its basic AI that it can be told to go off and mine an area and mine it and come back. It's fully EVA capable, so it can operate in 0G. It is absolutely stupid, and I love it. Love the new lore video? Thank you, Joe. Thank you for watching it. I'll check it real quickly. Yeah, it's doing okay. It's doing average now. Still about 2,000 or 200 short of the of 6th place, but it's 7th out of 10, which is not bad. perfect timing. Yeah, lots of comments, which is nice. Anyone have a review? No. I've had a couple of sir, this is a whammers moments, but it looks good. Check one more thing. Go to analytics, go to details, see the test, how the test is running. A thumbnail too, baby. That's the one that everyone likes. Wow, it's actually ranking in Star Citizen. It's number 4 or number 74 in on all of YouTube for Star Citizen, and it's number 18 for Star Citizen Gladius search. It's number 1 for Star Citizen lore, number 5 for Star Citizen story, number 76 for Star Citizen capitalized. Wow. No fucking, this is the 150th result for lore in general. If you just typed in lore, that's insane. What are the main showings at Citizens Con? We don't know yet, but we know for sure it's going to be Squadron. Not for sure. I have a fairly educated guess that it's going to be Squadron based off of all the stuff they talked about. And I've also, oh gosh, what else is there? There's also some fairly like educated guesses when it comes to, we're definitely going to see more stuff on homesteads, you know, base building, which is something they confirmed already. We'll see, the roadmap for 1.0, which is something they've confirmed already. We'll almost certainly see the updated scanning system because they've been working on that pretty frequently. It's pretty in depth. The scanning system is kind of like the map system that we had recently with 3.23. So yeah, there's lots of cool stuff. Forgot to ask, are the cargo hauling payouts good? When you get up to the levels, up to the higher levels, yeah, you earn about 42K. Like the average I've been finding for pretty small runs is about 42K. You can get up to 57K. When you get to the upper levels, they're like 200K for the runs. And the actual difference is like the spread and the amount, not necessarily the amount, but the spread out of how much you is. You don't need like a huge amount. You just have like 9, 10, 12 SCU of cargo spread out over like 5 different locations. Well, I'm just about to go call it a night there, X, because I got to go to work tomorrow still. So thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for some office hours. We'll be taking a look at the, there's no ISC. So we'll just hang out and talk. Yeah. Might talk a little bit about the Evocati because we can technically play the Evocati. I don't know if it's still available. I knew it was going to be a temporary test, but we'll see. Yeah. Talk a little bit about Squadron, that sort of thing. And then we've got next week is the first week of October. So we're probably going to have the monthly reports on the 3rd. I'm also going to be releasing the Squadron 42 monthly report tomorrow, the one that I recorded last week because it just 2 weeks ago, I think, actually. I just keep forgetting to put it up there. I got to get a good rhythm where I drop the captain's table on I record the captain's table on Saturday, drop it on Sunday, and then drop the Q&A on Tuesday. So then I can drop the whatever I do for the capsule on Thursday. The next week. Then Friday we'll be doing some Space Marine 2 with Loken, and Saturday we'll be talking about we'll be captain's table with Major Star Stuff and Griffin Gaming RPG. We'll be talking about crying and buying, how the September was one of the biggest Septembers on record, yet people had a lot of drama and issues with, say, the ATLS and other things like that. Is this a sign of bad things to come? Is this just a lot of noise and fury and nothing, signifying nothing? Is this something that CIG can continue to do? And then on Sunday, we'll be doing it'll be one of our last times. I'll be working with the lore team, my league, I should say, and we'll be doing our cargo, the blockade runner stuff. So you remember that we can fix it on the Redeemer we did a year ago? Want to re-record that? Sure, we can do it this weekend. I gotta talk with you about getting set up for the other stuff anyways. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Love your faces. Stay tuned for more things. And of course, next week, I will either next week or the week after next, I'll be releasing a video, lore primer on Battletech and Mech Warrior in preparation for Mech Warrior 5 Clans, which will be coming out on the 17th. So thank you for joining us. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.